Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just jump right in, shall we? Today, we're tackling something that keeps a lot of executives and business leaders awake at night. We're talking about that massive, frustrating gap between your high-level business strategy and the actual on-the-ground execution of your technology. We're going to break down a comprehensive blueprint developed by FindErnest. Their entire mission is built around transforming businesses through technology, talent, and transformation. So if you've ever felt like your software is holding you back instead of pushing you forward, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to this framework.
How do you actually turn technology into measurable business growth? It's the core challenge, isn't it? So many organizations try to scale, but they just hit a brick wall. They end up totally bogged down by disconnected systems, data silos, and software that, frankly, creates more work than it eliminates. Look, buying a software license, that's easy. But configuring it to actively drive your bottom line, that is a completely different story.
Well, that's exactly where FindErnest comes in. They are an official Zoho managed services partner. But what does that actually mean for us? It means they aren't just flipping a switch on your software. Their focus is on digital engineering and AI-led intelligent operations. They're designed to act as a catalyst, helping organizations accelerate growth, streamline their operations, and massively boost productivity using the whole Zoho ecosystem.
To see exactly how they pull this off, here is our roadmap for today. Scaling beyond legacy bottlenecks, the 3 pillars of growth, powering growth with Zoho, implementation aligned to business, continuous optimization and scale, and finally, your strategic growth partner.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Scaling Beyond Legacy Bottlenecks, the Challenge of Legacy Systems.
Look, if you're really going to grow, you have to be honest about what's holding you back. And for a lot of mid-market and enterprise companies, that means wrestling with legacy systems and siloed data. Usually, you face a tough choice here. You can hire a large system integrator, but they bring heavy bureaucracy and months of agonizing setup time. Or you can go with a pure staffing firm, which gets you bodies, but completely lacks any strategic business advisory. FindErnest basically sits right in the sweet spot. They give you the high-level consulting strategy, plus the skilled pros to execute it end-to-end, completely skipping the corporate red tape. And it really all boils down to this core promise. FindErnest deploys in weeks, with direct access to senior experts and zero escalation chains. Speed to value is everything when you're trying to drive growth. You just can't afford to wait 6 months to get a project scoped anymore. By cutting out those complicated escalation chains, they let you stay agile and innovate incredibly fast.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 3 pillars of growth, the FindErnest philosophy.
They use this really cool rule of 3 methodology to make their digital transformation stand out. First up is technology, meaning modern architectures and AI-first platforms like the Zoho ecosystem. Second is talent, deploying domain experts who act as a literal extension of your business. And third, transformation, leading with business-first consulting focused on operational excellence. They aren't just delivering one-off projects. They're using these 3 pillars to build real, long-term partnerships.
Why does this matter? Because buying software is never enough. You can go out and buy the most expensive enterprise system in the world, but technology initiatives only actually succeed when strategy, people, and execution are working together seamlessly. That is the true blueprint for driving your bottom line. You need the right talent executing the right strategy to actually hit your business goals.
All right, Section 3, Powering Growth with Zoho, the engine of transformation.
FindErnest completely relies on the Zoho ecosystem as their technology engine. And they go deep. They cover 8+ Zoho product lines. That's comprehensive, ecosystem-wide expertise. We're talking everything from a quick single app rollout all the way up to massive multi-region enterprise deployments. In the real world, they're managing the most crucial slices of your operations. You've got Zoho CRM accelerating sales and managing leads. Zoho People and Payroll are there digitizing your HR and keeping you compliant. Zoho Books is modernizing all your financial ops and invoicing, and tying the whole shebang together is their flagship implementation, Zoho One. Let's clarify what Zoho One actually is. Think of it as an integrated operating system for the entire business. The strategic value here is massive. Instead of having sales on one platform, HR on a second, and finance on a third, which just creates data silos and headaches, you consolidate. It replaces all those disjointed apps with a single unified platform, so your data flows seamlessly across every department.
Section 4. Implementation aligned to business. Speed to value.
So how do they actually deploy this powerhouse technology? It's a highly structured loop. Assess, design, build, train, and optimize. They start by assessing your pain points. design the architecture, and move right into building the workflows. Then they train your users to guarantee day-one adoption, which funnels straight into continuous optimization. It's an unbroken cycle of improvement.
And they pull this off fast, like incredibly fast. For a small business, a full rollout happens in just 2 to 4 weeks. Even mid-market deployments only take 4 to 12 weeks. While the bloated legacy integrators are still scheduling kickoff calls, FindErnest is getting you to go live, so you start seeing your ROI almost instantly. Here's a detail you absolutely need to take away from this explainer. They handle licensing differently. For FindErnest, licensing isn't just some checkout page where you click buy. It's treated as a real consulting exercise. They align your Zoho applications with your actual business goals, right-sizing the plans to your headcount and usage. That means you aren't burning cash on licenses you don't even need.
Which brings us to Section 5, Continuous Optimization and Scale, evolving with your business. Because getting to go live, that's really just the start of the journey. They support your evolution through 3 distinct managed service tiers. Starting small, the Essential tier covers incident management and health checks. Scaling into the mid-market, Professional gets you a dedicated Zoho consultant and quarterly business reviews. And for large enterprises, you get deep governance and continuous optimization. They literally scale their support right alongside your revenue.
The big takeaway here is that implementation is the starting point, definitely not the finish line. If you don't actively maintain a software platform, it accumulates unused licenses, workflows go stale, and people start doing their work on random shadow spreadsheets. Continuous optimization is what guarantees you're still maximizing your ROI years down the line.
Finally, Section 6, your strategic growth partner, building long-term success.
Why do organizations ultimately choose this model to build their long-term success? It comes down to this core identity: technology aligned with measurable business outcomes. FindErnest brings digital transformation, CRM, HR tech, and data analytics all under one roof. They don't just implement software for the sake of it. They use a delivery model that directly drives digital transformation and, crucially, business growth.
So, I'll leave you with this to wrap up our explainer today. Are you ready to stop just buying software and start building a real roadmap to lasting business growth? If your systems are disjointed and your data is a mess, it might be time to rethink your enterprise software strategy and find a partner who actually prioritizes your business outcomes. Thanks for joining me to explore this blueprint for growth today.